From the W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications, your home for the latest Marshall University news and sports, you're watching MU Report.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us for this 5th edition of MU Report Spring 2018. I'm Kayla Simmons.
And I'm Brooke Griffin. We are a student-produced newscast of the W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications at Marshall University, and we air this broadcast not only on West Virginia Public Broadcasting, but also Network West Virginia and YouTube. Now on to our top story. Recent school shootings have sparked a national movement among students to call for more gun control. While many traveled to the nation's capital to take part in the March for Our Lives, some brought the movement right here to the Mountain State.
We've reached the point where public school isn't free. I mean, the average cost of a casket is $2,000.
Thousands participated in March for Our Lives events across the nation on Saturday, including here in West Virginia, in support of changes in gun laws that they say are needed in the United States.
Then we need to do something. We need to change something in our system. So this is how we do it. We need to let our congressmen and congresswomen know that we are here and we want our voices to be heard so that something else doesn't happen to our school so we don't die.
The West Virginia Capitol building steps were covered by students, parents, and teachers who want to see the gun violence in the country end.
That's not something a parent should have to worry about, is whether or not their child goes to school and whether or not they come home safe.
Imagine having to text your family goodbye because of the possibility that you might be the next victim.
It's not fair, and the fact that it could have easily have been me or my brother or anyone or my friends.
Many of the students that I talked to say that this is only the beginning of the change that they would like to see and that they will not stop until they get the change they are looking for.
So we're here demanding for change, demanding for something greater, for something significant, because our politicians aren't able to do that. So we're going to stand here and demand for change.
West Virginia does not require those over the age of 21 to have a permit or extensive paperwork to own and buy a gun, causing some to say that is just asking for a problem.
Schools are unsafe. That's all it is. Our schools are unsafe. We don't feel safe anymore.
Who will solve these problems and how still remains unclear,
How many more?
as Congress and national leaders are remaining quiet on the issue. Although West Virginia has yet to experience a shooting in one of its schools, those who were at the rally say that they are looking to Washington to keep it that way.
A political researcher is encouraging students in the state to stay involved in politics, especially women. Dr. Lauren Santoro shared her research with Marshall students and faculty to inspire the women there to seek out better representation in government.
To note for the students that women are underrepresented in almost all levels of government, and so if they themselves feel like they're underrepresented in government and their viewpoints underrepresented, that they should get more involved or support, get more active in supporting candidates that they feel like would really represent their needs.
Dr. Santoro says she hopes students of all genders at Marshall will be more motivated to fight for women's rights. Her research reflects on differences between how women and men participate in congressional hearings.
Some students here at Marshall have been making history in a different way. Marshall's basketball team made it to the NCAA Tournament for the first time in 31 years. Sabrina Hurst has more on how Marshall captured the country's attention.
Marshall University was dancing in the NCAA March Madness Tournament after winning the Conference USA champion title.
It was a heck of a ride. We set a new standard for Marshall basketball. Marshall hadn't been in the tournament in 31 years, had never won a game in the NCAA tournament, and I think we proved ourselves. I think we can compete at this level.
A win against WKU made the team eligible for the NCAA tournament. However, a loss to WVU ended their dance in the tournament.
What I realized is just take advantage of the moment. I can't take any of this stuff for granted. They're a good team over there. And, we had our chances in the first half to keep it close, even to expand our lead, but we just have to learn from it. We have to continue to get better. This offseason is going to be a big offseason. Now that we've been on this stage, we realize that we're good enough to be here, so there's no more excuse at this point.
Ott Elmore stole the show, becoming an overnight Twitter sensation regarding talk about his 3 points, 4 fouls, and 1 technical within 1 minute and 41 seconds.
It meant everything. This was probably the best year Marshall's ever had. First time we won a tournament game, won the conference championship. This is special. At the end of that game tonight, there was 15 teams on to the next round, and there's 2 left. So we were one of the final 17 teams in the country, and that's pretty special.
Marshall University ended their basketball season against West Virginia University in San Diego, California. Sabrina Hurst, MU Report.
Fans can look forward to seeing the Herd next season with many of returning players.
Before competing in the NCAA, Marshall's basketball team made a stop in Texas for the CUSA Tournament. While Marshall's president came along for the games, Sabrina Hurst reports he has found a great opportunity beyond the sidelines.
Marshall University's President Gilbert spent time in Texas talking and interacting with school and Board of Education leaders about recruiting Texans to Marshall.
Well, my perception of Marshall has been a positive one for many different reasons. I've heard lots of good things about it. And after talking with Dr. Gilbert, it's obvious that Marshall has a tremendous amount of promise for any student that might want to attend.
Dr. Gilbert spent his time informing school leaders in Texas about what Marshall's journalism, engineering, pharmacy, forensic, medical, and visual arts programs are about.
A lot of the things that we actually offer here in McKinney ISD really would translate to Marshall University, and I would look for any opportunity for our kids to take that next step and be involved in higher ed.
Marshall basketball traveled to Frisco, Texas to compete in the Conference USA Tournament. President Gilbert utilized that opportunity to speak to local school districts about recruiting.
I would love to have more Texas students, and we have some Texas students at Marshall, but to have a pipeline where we could recruit students from Texas to Marshall, I think would be great.
Dr. Gilbert is interested in recruiting more Texas students to the Huntington campus. Sabrina Hurst, MU Report.
School leaders in Texas say their state universities always fill up quickly, so working with Marshall will help Texas students get into the college programs they need.
For students already in college programs at Marshall, the next step is trying to find a job after graduation. As Rebecca Turnbull reports, it often involves skipping out on some summer vacation plans.
Summer break isn't much of a break.
It matters to employers.
For college students about to enter the workforce, job vacancies are opening up as baby boomers begin to retire, and students who take on summer internships before graduation are often first in line for those job openings.
Employers look at it as an evaluation period. You know, if they're looking for individuals to fill holes or to fill gaps that they have. You know, now we're kind of in a situation where baby boomers are starting to exit. So there are some fields that are very open.
And those fields aren't just looking for experienced workers. Some students say that by ditching their summer breaks for summer internships, they can show a stronger work ethic to future employers.
Especially like a summer internship, it shows that one, like, you don't really stop in the summer. Like, you look at the summer as an opportunity to sort of, you know, build that resume, but also to work and to like get those professional skills.
It's those sort of skills that advisors in Marshall University's Office of Career Education say will help recent college grads land careers in today's tough job market.
It's all about resume building, you know, internship and networking and making sure that you are prepared and ready to go out into the work world when you finish your four-year degree.
For students interested in finding internships for this upcoming summer, the Office of Career Education offers free advising and other resources at their office on the corner of 5th Avenue and 17th Street. Rebecca Turnbull, MU Report.
Students can also visit the Student Resource Center on the second floor of the Memorial Student Center for more help.
The biggest student job on campus is about to start for the new president and vice president of the Student Government Association. As Courtney Andrews reports, this year's election winners are already putting their ambitious plans into action.
Hunter Barclay and Hannah Petracca were seemingly the dark horse in the SGA election. Neither of them had prior experience in SGA, but they somehow swept in and won the election in nail-biting fashion. The duo scrambled until the very end, locking in votes, and secured the election by just 5 votes.
When Matt James said 5 votes, we looked at each other like, oh man, like I don't know if we did it. At that point we knew it was between us and Jeremiah and Rachel. And I thought, man, okay, well, at least we held our ground pretty well. And then when they said, I was like, oh my goodness, that was us. Like we did that by 5 votes.
Barclay and Petracca ran their campaign focusing their platform on issues that would directly impact Marshall students. Their big-ticket items were a textbook price cap and a mental health day for students.
The work's actually already beginning because there's going to be a transition period, and we want to make sure that as soon as we begin that we know what we're doing, we know the people who are in the Senate, and so it's kind of hitting the ground running.
I've actually already started contacting more book reps about getting them here and getting in front of Faculty Senate so we can go ahead and move forward with the textbook price cap and seeing what we need to do next about our mental health day.
With the race being so close, the two are still in a little bit of disbelief and are still celebrating their accomplishments.
I took the break to kind of believe that it actually did happen and have that time.
Celebrate a little bit more. Celebrate a little bit more. I think that it's still setting in that, you know, we ran such a great race with such great people, and our campus chose us to lead, and that's so exciting.
Hunter and Hannah will be inaugurated on April 22nd, and the following day they will step foot into this office and get right to work. Courtney Andrews, Emmy Report.
All right, stand by. Those who would like to contact Hunter and Hannah can email them at votechteam@gmail.com.
Being a leader on Marshall's campus comes with its challenges, especially for students from other countries. But as Ryan Murphy reports, Marshall's Into program is encouraging international students to share pieces of their homes with their peers.
Maybe they don't travel in this country, but they will know something about this country.
For Into students already facing a shift in culture, holding on to their culture from back home can be crucial. The students of Marshall's Into program got the opportunity to take a piece of their culture and share it with other international and domestic Marshall students.
It can be knowing something about other culture, customs, or that you can see, share something new, maybe new for another country, and they can learn more about that. So it's very meaningful for us.
Into student Yanru Song says she decided to teach students how to use an abacus for mental math, rather than presenting something from her culture that people may already be familiar with.
We've had a lot of students talk about food, and a lot of students talk about clothes and just holidays, but we've never had anybody talk about math. So I think that was a little bit fun for her, as like it was for everyone else.
Into students may be far away from home, but the cultural series allows them to share home with their peers at Marshall University. Ryan Murphy, MU Report.
To find more Into events and information on their program, visit marshall.edu/into/events.
Students have been coming together for many reasons on campus, sometimes to remember those whom Marshall has lost. As Courtney Andrews reports, Marshall is honoring the memory of a Herd football player whose life was taken too soon.
Thundering Herd football and the Marshall community are still mourning the loss of one of their own, defensive tackle Larry Aaron III.
He definitely fed off a lot of positivity to a lot of people, and he's very motivational, very supportive. He was definitely one of those people you could always count on to be there.
Aaron was at a New Year's Eve party in his home state of Maryland when shots were fired. He was shielding his girlfriend when he was hit in the back with a bullet, causing paralysis in his lower extremities. About 2 months later, Aaron died due to complications from his injury.
Like this really feel like it's still a dream. And I'm just wishing that I wake up one day and I know my dog will be in this room.
Marshall Athletics has banded together to show support of their fellow athlete, and many teams have worn his number during competition.
In 40 years plus of coaching football teams, I've never seen a young man be at a place for such a short period of time and affect a football team like your son did.
There's so many of them on the team that were just close to Larry, and the relationships we formed with him will be everlasting.
But I think it's really important, like, for people to understand how much he loved the game and how he wanted nothing more than to be on the field.
Marshall Athletics paid for the football team to attend Aaron's funeral, which was held on March 2nd, when over 2,000 people were in attendance. Courtney Andrews, MU Report.
That's all the time we have for today. I'm Kayla Simmons.
And I'm Brooke Griffin. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to look us up on YouTube. Have a great day.